Keep that round of applause going. Come on. Welcome. How are you guys doing today?
We good, Jill, we good.
You good? Had a busy morning looking at cosplay, haven't you?
Yes, we have.
So this is our breaking into cosplay panel. So you are all, I would call veterans of cosplay at this stage. We've been doing it for over 10 years each. Let's talk about how you guys got into cosplay.
Oh, fine. Okay, so mine was a little bit different. So I used to do something called stock photography, where I was a model and I would put on costumes and take photos of myself and then put them on the internet for people to use in artworks. It sounds really not sus at all, does it?
Are you the original girl eating salad laughing?
No, that wasn't me. But what happened was that I saw that a lot of people were commenting about, oh, that's such a cool cosplay. And I'm like, and where's that cosplay from? And I'm like, cosplay? What's that? And then I did some research, found out what it was. I was like, yeah, I'll give that a go as well.
So I'd say I started really getting into cosplay after I'd already been to a few cons, and I was actually a fan artist before I got into cosplay. So I kind of saw cosplay as like a physical manifestation of fan art, and I kind of still see it that way today.
I kind of first discovered cosplay in maybe 2008 or 2009, but really started to go more into it around 2010, where I just attended my first convention, which was SmashCon in Sydney. It was purely out of curiosity, and just seeing a lot of people have fun with it, I thought, oh my god, yeah, I want to totally give this a go, and been doing it ever since. Yeah.
So I would say you've each tackled your own learning curve in cosplay to get to the level that you are today. What is your number one tip for a new cosplayer?
I think the most useful thing for me has been just chucking myself into the deep end when I want to learn something new. I make a lot of mistakes, but I learn very fast on, how to, achieve them.
I would say just for new and aspiring cosplayers is to do it for yourself and have fun. I think that's one of the most important things, in my opinion, especially if you feel that your cosplay isn't good enough, or you're comparing yourself to other cosplayers. Everyone starts off somewhere. We've all, had our first cosplay, and I look back on it and I cringe, but, kind of seeing like the development over time. It comes with experience, with time. So yeah, my advice is just have fun with it, keep doing what you love, and yeah, have positive people around you. Yeah.
Just do it.
Just do it.
I would say, just like Vi said, jump on into it. As Knight said, have fun. And then I think what I'm going to add to that is I'm going to say, start small. Don't start off with a major build, like something that is like, I don't know, a Sakizu outfit, all right? If ever anyone knows what that is, it's a very detailed costume. And just don't start with that. Start with something small, something manageable. But yeah, and ask questions to cosplayers. We love sharing our knowledge because it makes us feel good. So ask us.
I would add on to that, kirilee, probably be specific in what you ask. I've seen a lot of people get requested, how did you make this costume? I'm like, what part of that costume? So what kind of process goes into choosing a character?
For me, it's definitely changed over the years. These days, after doing cosplay for 15 years, I really have to connect with the character on a personal level. So sometimes it takes me a year and a half to even really like the character enough to cosplay them, and yeah, it's totally fine. I just have to really like them to do it.
I think before I always went for aesthetics, specifically I know that I could fit this character. but not necessarily enjoy their personality per se. But these days, like, I definitely just do things that I want to do, even trying to just push myself out of my comfort zone. I've been doing that, I would say, for the past 2 or 3 years now. Yeah, and I think I've just had a lot more fun with it as well. But I definitely go towards more male characters just because I think my face just suits it more. Yeah, but doing female characters is also quite fun occasionally. But yeah, mostly just seeing if a character fits my aesthetic, and also I have to like them as well, just their personality, and see if I can pull it off. Yeah.
So for me, I have definitely shifted probably in the last 2 years. Number one, I have to like the character that I'm doing, or alternatively, what I need to do is I need to have a design that I'm really passionate about. I love when it is a different design to just a straight cosplay. I love mixing it up with like historical and then the cosplay, or Sailor Moon meets Mario Brothers. Like, I love that kind of level of creativity, and it just makes me happy. So I do a bit of that.
I would assume that everybody has had a failure at some point whilst making a costume. What has been the biggest learning curve for you in cosplay?
I know you first.
I wouldn't say there's one particular thing for me that has been particularly difficult, but there have definitely been costumes where I'm not happy with how it's turning out, and I've left it for a while and just decided not to proceed with it any further. And that's totally fine. Maybe it's you fall out of love with the character or something with that. Actually, I think that's a thing for me that I've found really difficult to overcome. Just like, retaining interest in something while I'm working on it for a very long amount of time, because some of my costumes take, up to half a year or even drag into the year-long period. So yeah, just finding the mental motivation to get over that is something that I really need to work on over, my time cosplaying.
I think for me, I've fallen out of love with certain characters and certain designs. When I have realised too late that I've used the wrong material. I don't know if that's ever happened to you guys, but and then trying to push through and finish off the cosplay, and then you spend hours and hours and hours making cosplay, and then you put it all on and you look in the mirror and you're like, I am a shiny, shiny turd. I've certainly had that.
Is there something you would never do again?
Party Saturn.
I think for me, it's very similar to Vi as well. It's like there's not something I can particularly pinpoint. However, I would say every single cosplay I've made is definitely a learning experience. I learn so many new things with every single costume I make. So there's always trial and error. And I guess through the numerous amount of costumes I've made over the years, I think every single costume I make just kind of gets better and better because I always learnt from the last one. And yeah, so it's hard to pinpoint exactly what I dislike, but...
So on that, it is really important. You have to fail to eventually succeed. You learn the most not from your successes but your failures. So, don't be afraid to fail. Sometimes it's good to be a shiny turd.
Yeah, no matter how much research you do beforehand, there are always going to be things that you have to iterate on and change. So yeah, don't worry too much.
There'll be a range of motivational t-shirts available after this panel as well. How has the cosplay scene changed since you all began? What do you think is the best thing to work on these days?
Well, we didn't have TikTok before, so that really kind of came out of nowhere. I would say the difference between the 12 years of me cosplaying is that there's definitely a lot more resources now. Things are much more accessible these days. Back when I first started cosplaying, if we couldn't find a particular colored wig we would have to go to like one of those like dollar stores, buy a cheap wig, and then I'd be like at home coloring it with Copic markers to get the right shade. You know, these days wigs come in all different styles, colors. So in that sense, I'm quite envious. It's like for the newer generation of cosplayers, you have a lot more accessibility to things, which is really great. Very, very great, yeah.
I think for me, I mean, I've been cosplaying a little bit shorter than you two. But for the time that I've been in the cosplay scene, I think what's changed the most is the cosplay competitions. There has been a distinctive shift between, I guess, it becoming more prestige